Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The National Program for Enhancing Economic Diversification, 10 Feed, presents more than 120 initiatives. The land transport agreement between the Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates aims to facilitate the procedures of goods and passengers transfer. And for the first time in the Sultanate, the Royal Hospital performs a new cardiac catheterization technique. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Joining the Society in the Future Economic Visions and Plans topped the works of the third step of the first phase of the National Program for Enhancing Economic Diversification, 10 Feed, which represented the community in this phase. The three-day exhibition commencing today reviews the first results of the lab's workshop from the previous weeks with the Society, as well as presenting more than 120 initiatives. The program workshops were followed by Their Excellencies, members of the Supervision Committee of the program, and heads of the 5 sectors targeted in the 9th five-year plan. It is worth mentioning that 10 Feet program works on formulating work mechanism according to specific timetable in addition to measuring performance, and will be implemented by the beginning of next year. The cooperation agreement between the Sultanates government and the United Arab Emirates government in the field of land transport for passengers and goods comes from the excellent bilateral relations and common concerns between both countries, aiming to facilitate the procedures of goods and passengers transfer in all types of transport, in addition to finding a suitable mechanism for the Oman national transport to the UAE, which in turn will organize and facilitate the road transport operation from the UAE to ply inside Omani lands. Both sides agreed on finding a unified mechanism of transportation while entering and exiting between both countries, or for a third partner with specific restrictions, in addition to facilitating procedures to passengers and their luggage crossing, commercial goods and transport vehicles between both countries, also to allow the transport company to establish offices or to hire representatives according to the laws of both countries. The Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, OCCI, announced the Ta'sis, or Established Initiative, which came to provide opportunities for job seekers in commercial projects established completely by the OCCI. It also allocated 1 million Omani riyals for support fund specialized in the development of small projects. This initiative came to include a number of projects, namely centers for spare parts and marble sale, as well as a project for taxis to transport tourists coming for ships docked at the port. These projects are expected to enhance the national economy after their stability in the market. Entrepreneurs Products Exhibition Omani Creations 4 started at Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. The three-day exhibition features more than 90 small and medium enterprises and includes specialized corners, including the Corner of Innovation that is run by the Engineering Village, which includes 4 sub-corners in the field of renewable energy and entrepreneurship award winners. The 4th edition of the exhibition focuses on several key themes in the activation of support and partnership opportunities. On the sidelines of the exhibition, a number of workshops were held to shed light on support and financial services provided by various institutions such as SMEs Development Fund and Oman Development Bank. They also focused on investment opportunities and the latest updates in the entrepreneurship field. The exhibition was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Taimur bin Asad bin Tariq Al Said. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Ministry of Health holds a graduation ceremony for both Suhar and North Batna Nursing Institute's batch of students. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Royal Hospital performed new cardiac catheterization technique in which the procedure is conducted for the first time in Oman. More details are in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai.
The National Heart Center in Royal Hospital performed recently for the first time in the Sultanate a transcatheter aortic valve implantation TAVI procedures by using a catheter technique instead of using a classical open heart surgery. The TAVI's procedures was performed successfully through several stages for the patients suffered for long-standing from severe aortic valve stenosis at the new hybrid catheterization lab in the National Heart Center in Royal Hospital. It was performed by a well-developed trained medical staff consist of 5 specialized teams: senior consultant cardiologist, senior consultant cardiac surgeons, cardiovascular technologist, cardiac anesthetist, and cardiac nurses.
This procedure is basically in a very high-risk patient with prohibited risk for conventional valve surgery. This valve can be implanted through the femoral approach, i.e. without opening the chest. This procedure is reserved only for patients with a very high risk for conventional surgery. But with time, this procedure will be extended to moderate risk patients and even later on lower risk patients.
Dr. Rida, a senior consultant interventional cardiologist, is a visitor from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, said performing this new technique, transcatheter aortic valve implantation TAVI, by using catheterization techniques instead of using classical open heart surgery is a great effort and long development processes through many big studies for the benefits to the communities and humanity globally. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman television.
The Sultanate's embassy in Italy hosted a reception ceremony on the occasion of the 46th Glorious National Day, which was attended by a number of officials, diplomats, businessmen, and heads of the Arab and foreign diplomatic missions. The welcoming party was held by His Excellency Ambassador Ahmed bin Salem Baumar. The ceremony came to stress on the deep-rooted relations between both countries as the attendees exchanged greetings on this delightful occasion and expressed their feelings of further progress and prosperity to the Omani people. They also hailed the accomplishments carried out in each part of this dear country in various fields. The commissioned minister Riyadh bin Mohammed Makki, deputy charge d'affaires at the embassy, held a ceremony in GW Marriott Hotel in the capital, Kuala Lumpur. The ceremony was attended by Datuk Seri, Minister of the Presidency Cabinet, as a chief guest representing the Malaysian government, besides a number of officials, senior officers, heads, and members of accredited diplomatic missions and representatives of the military and cultural attaches in Malaysia. This ceremony included traditional arts performances carried out by a number of Omani students portraying the Omani heritage and environment. His Excellency Mundhir bin Mahfoud Al-Mandhari, Sultanate's ambassador to the Philippines, held a reception ceremony on the occasion of the glorious 46th National Day in Manila. The ceremony was attended by His Excellency, the Undersecretary of the Ministry of International Economic Relations, Civil Security and Consular Affairs, His Excellency, the Envoy of the Philippines, President to the GCC countries, members of the diplomatic corps from the friendly countries, and a number of businessmen. This ceremony included visual shows on the Sultanate's accomplishments and developments and Omani arts. The Sultanate's embassy in the Islamic Republic of Mauritania organized a reception ceremony on this occasion. His Excellency Nasser bin Mohammed Al-Mawali, Sultanate's ambassador to Nouakchott, received the well-wishers, including senior Mauritanian officials topped by Khadija Mbarak Fel, Minister Delegate to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation in charge of African Affairs and Mauritanians abroad. The ceremony was also attended by a number of officials, heads of diplomatic missions, media men, journalists, and businessmen. His Excellency Mubarak bin Salim Al Zakwani, Sultanates Ambassador to South Africa, hosted a reception on this occasion. The reception was attended by His Excellency the Minister of Commerce and Industry of South Africa as the chief guest and a number of officials from different ministries and official government units. In addition to the Dean of the General and Arab Diplomatic Missions, their Excellencies, heads and members of the Diplomatic Corps, and representatives of civil society organizations. On the sideline of the ceremony, an exhibition was held portraying the Sultanate's history and culture, and a number of touristic booklets were distributed. A video film was also displayed on the architectural renaissance of the Sultanate. The Wilaya of Sneina in the Governorate of Buraimi celebrated the 46th Glorious National Day, where His Excellency Sheikh Fahad bin Sultan Al Yaqoubi, Wali of Sneina, received hosts of citizens who expressed their gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan. An Omani traditional heritage village was inaugurated in Nakhal on the occasion of the 46th National Day. The event was held under the auspices of Sayyid Fakhr al-Din bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Deputy Wali of Nakhal. More details in the following report by Saif bin Khalfan al-Kindi.
Heritage and Omani folklore as well as traditional dances stimulated the heritage village in Nakhal, celebrating Omani 46th National Day.
Omani Women Association in Nakhal and sports youth teams all work together for the best of Oman and to celebrate this great anniversary.
The classical 1917 Ford was the dominant old car since the beginning of the 19th century. It's still used for showcasing purposes and in annual ceremonies. It attracts a lot of visitors.
We have many old cars from various brands. One of the oldest cars that we have here at present in the Sultanate of Oman is a Ford 1917. This car is classic that many visitors have enjoyed seeing it in the Sultanate.
Baking traditional Omani bread and making traditional dishes as well as handicrafts make it a new experience for children and tourists visiting this village. Sulaiman al-Harrasi always presenting his sugary delights, a well-known sweet called qishat. At the end of this ceremony, Sayyid Fakhr al-Din bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Deputy Wali of Nakhal, awarded Omani TV and parts as well as awarding many other local participants. Saif al-Kindi for English News from the Omani Heritage Village in Nakhal.
The Ministry of Health held a graduation ceremony for Wal Suhar and North Baltana Nursing Institute's batch of students who will join work at hospitals and health centers around the Sultanate. The graduates will strengthen the health sector with new skills and experiences. They will also support the manpower in the field of general nursing in various health institutions and hospitals. The graduation ceremony included graduate speeches who expressed their happiness for graduation after hard work and efforts they exerted during the years of study. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas with chances of scattered rainfall. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. Winds will be north to northeasterly, light to moderate, occasionally active over the coastal areas. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The National Program for Enhancing Economic Diversification, 10P, presents more than 120 initiatives. The land transport agreement between the Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates aims to facilitate the procedures of goods and passengers transfer. And for the first time in the Sultanate, the Royal Hospital performs new cardiac catheterization technique. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.